You are listening to Beyond the Lesson Plan, a podcast about what happens when education meets reality, when systems crack open, and we search for something more. I'm your host, Inders Kradis, and in each episode we go beneath the surface, beyond what's taught, to why it matters. What if the education system you idolize isn't quite what you thought to be? For over 2 decades, Finland has been the darling of global education reformers. Its consistent PISA performance, student well-being, and egalitarian ethos have earned it the status of an education superpower. But has this image become a myth? In this episode, we dive into what the world gets wrong and right about Finland's schooling system. We unpack 5 of the most common myths and examine what lies behind the Nordic success story. We also look deeper into Finland's current struggles, long-term strategy, and how its influence has been adopted or misinterpreted around the globe. While Finnish students have less homework than their peers in many countries, they still do it. On average, 15-year-olds in Finland spend under 3 hours per week on homework, about half as much as their Australian or US counterparts. But the key is focus. The homework they do is purposefully and concise. The goal is not volume, but meaningful reinforcement. While Finland avoids standardized national testing in basic education, students still take the matriculation exam at the end of upper secondary school. Assessment is continuous and handled locally by teachers. So, no to high stakes testing culture, but yes to evaluation where it matters. Feedback is central, but pressure is low. Finnish teacher salaries are around the OECD average in absolute terms. But here's a twist. They earn around 92% of what other professionals with similar education make, compared to 58% in the United States. That relative respect makes a difference. The prestige of teaching in Finland lies less in pay and more in autonomy, professional trust, and societal value. Fewer than 15% of applicants get into teacher training, and a master's degree is required. But the mission isn't based on grades alone. Motivation, interpersonal skills, and aptitude for working with children are crucial. It is not about being the smartest on paper, but it's about being the right fit. The idea is to train good teachers, not just smart students. Finland still teaches subjects like math and languages. However, all schools must include at least one interdisciplinary project per year, what's known as phenomenal-based learning. It's not a replacement for subjects, but a complement. The curriculum encourages thematic exploration, but core disciplines remain intact. So, what does this look like in practice? In grade 1, students might explore the theme of seasons by observing nature, singing seasonal songs, writing short texts, and counting seasonal items, integrating science, music, language, and math. By grade 6, a project on sustainable cities could combine geography, civics, technology, and environmental studies, culminating in designing their city models with presentations. What really explains Finland's education success? Teachers have the freedom to shape learning in their classrooms. No inspections, no national rankings, just a strong professional ethos and supportive infrastructure. Trust isn't just given, it's built into the training. the expectations and the shared cultural value placed on education. Schools are public, inclusive, and well resourced. Every student receives free lunch, health services, and special education support if needed. Tracking by ability is avoided until age 16. Finland's system assumes that every child can succeed and structures oneself accordingly. Shorter school days, frequent breaks, minimal homework, more time to play and rest. Yet, Finnish students consistently outperform peers in countries with longer school hours and more pressure. There's an intentional balance between academic focus and student well being, one that values emotional resilience and lifelong curiosity. As one Finnish primary teacher put it, we are not here to prepare kids for tests, we are here to prepare them for life. That means we teach them how to think, how to care, and how to be. Reform started in the 1970s, emphasizing equal opportunity and comprehensive schooling. Investments were steady, based on research, and embedded in a culture that values education deeply. It wasn't just policy change, it was cultural evolution. Until age 16, all students are taught together, regardless of ability. Struggling learners receive additional support rather than being tracked or separated. This reduces inequality and reinforces collective progress. Finland's education success didn't come from nowhere. It built on a long standing national literacy culture, strong public libraries, and a belief that knowledge is power. National reading campaigns and children's literature programs like Luku Into or Joy of Reading are actively promoted in schools and libraries, fostering a love of books from an early age. Public libraries often host author visits, storytelling circles, and reading challenges that directly support school learning. After every 45-minute class, Finnish students get a 15 to 20-minute recess. It's not just downtime, it's pedagogical. Regular breaks boost concentration, emotional regulation, and motivation. This simple child centered structure sets a strong foundation for learning. Free meals, healthcare access, psychological counseling, and personalized support are built into the system. These aren't seen as extras, they are essentials. By addressing non academic barriers, Finland increases the chance that every child can engage and succeed. While Finland emphasizes equity and autonomy, Singapore has taken a different route. High stakes exams, rigorous streaming, and intense academic pressure from an early age. Yet both countries have shown strong PISA results. The takeaway: there's more than one way to build a high performing system, but long term sustainability, student well being, and equity tell a deeper story. Estonia, Finland's Baltic neighbor, has taken inspiration from Finnish teacher training and public school values. But it also introduced its innovations, like early digital literacy and data driven interventions. Interestingly, Estonia has recently surpassed Finland in several PISA domains, showing that adaptation, not imitation, can lead to success. Even Finland is not immune to turbulence. PISA scores have been declining. Teacher shortages are emerging, especially in early childhood and special education. The system is grappling with rising inequality, growing diversity, and student mental health issues. Some critics argue that newer pedagogical trends, like digitalization or looser curricular structures, may be diluting foundational knowledge. Others say Finland's social fabric is changing, and schools must adapt without losing core values. Immigrant students face integration challenges, and economic pressures strain resources. There are also concerns about generational shifts. Fewer young people are entering teacher training, and over 35% of current teachers are over 50. This could create a succession gap unless policy responses like mentoring, scholarships, and career support are scaled up. At the same time, there are internal debates about whether newer methods like phenomenon based learning risk undermining core literacy and math skills. Some call for a rebalancing, embracing innovation, yes, but not at the cost of clarity and depth. As one Finnish student in Helsinki noted, we like the freedom, but sometimes we wish for more structure, especially in math and science. It depends a lot on the teacher. As OECD expert Andreas Schleicher notes, success is not a trophy, it's a responsibility to keep evolving. From Peru to India, from Estonia to Minnesota, countries have tried adapting elements of the Finnish model. Some have seen gains, others frustration. The lesson? Context matters. You can't copy Finland wholesale, but you can learn from its principles: equity, trust, professionalism, and a child centered vision. In India, Finnish based private schools are emerging. In Peru, a partnership with Finland is helping design inclusive public schools. In Estonia, collaboration on teacher training has contributed to that country's own PISA success, even surpassing Finland in some metrics. But caution is warranted. As Finnish education expert Pasi Sahlberg comments, don't just borrow policies, borrow the thinking behind them. He and other experts emphasize that Finland's success is not built on isolated tricks like fewer tests or shorter school days, but on coherent systems rooted in values. Without trust, long-term commitment, and adequate support structures, borrowed ideas can falter. So, is Finland a miracle or a mirror? Maybe it's both. It shows what's possible when a nation believes that education is a public good, not a private race. It challenges us to reflect on what truly matters in education: equity, humanity, long term thinking, and trust in those who teach. It also reminds us that no system is above critique. Finland is not perfect and doesn't claim to be, but it continues to evolve, ask hard questions, and invest in the future. Thank you for listening. That was this week's reflection from beyond the lesson plan. If it resonated, share it. If it challenged you, even better. We will meet again, not in the margins, but at the core of what truly matters. Stay curious, stay kind.